Hello, wonderful students. All right, I'm going to make a quick scaled bar graph. You might be able to see some smudges on here from before. I actually just recorded a whole video for you and it cut off halfway through, so I had to start over. So I erased some stuff here, so sorry if you can actually see my answers. All right, so a scaled bar graph is when you have to adjust it so that not each one of these is not just worth 1. So if you look at the number of, this is the number of push-ups done in phys ed class. So Arjun did 45, Sarah did 30, Malia did 50, Eric did 20, and Abdul did 40. So looking at this data or data, however you'd like to say it, I can see that if I put each of these squares or cubes, squares at 1, I wouldn't have enough. So I see that this ends in a 5, 45. So maybe I'll count by 5s. So if I did it by 5s and I have 0 at the bottom, because see how there's nothing there, that's my 0. So that's where I'm going to start off. If I count it by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and I run out of space. So the space that I have is limited. 30 is one of the lower ones. So that's not going to fit either. So what could I count by to make my scaled bar graph fit this space and be able to accommodate or handle these high numbers that these kids did? That's an awful lot of push-ups, isn't it? All right. Okay, so I'm going to count by 10s. I'm going to try 10s. Let's see if that works. If I started here and I counted by 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I could do that. 50 is the highest. So 60 is more than enough. But if I count by 10s, how am I supposed to do 45? That's tricky, but doable. We have done that before where I showed you that you could go halfway between a line. I'm going to go over that again quickly here. I already put my label for the number of push-ups because going up here is going to tell me the number that they did. Down here, it tells me who did it. So I've labeled this down here already. All right, so this is 0. I'm starting at 0 down here. So this is not 1. It's 1 square, but it's not going to count as 1 because I'm counting by 10s. Sorry that I'm blocking the light there. All right, so that's going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and that would be 60 at the top. Okay, this would be 60, and these actually should be down a little bit, but I can't see well in this light. So 0 all the way up to 60. I'm going to look at my information here. Arjun got 45, so I'm going to put 45 on here. I'm actually going to make mine thicker than I would normally just so you can see it. 45 is halfway between 40 and 50, right? So I have to make sure that I show people that it's halfway between. If I go too high, they're going to think it's almost 50, like 49 or something, so I'd have to erase it. If I don't go high enough, they'll think it's 42, so I have to make sure I add to it. So halfway, and I think this is about halfway, that's 45. So that's Arjun. So Arjun got 45. And I'm doing this just so you can see it better. I would prefer it if you actually use different colors and color the whole thing in, sort of shade it in, if you have the time. Sarah got 30, so I'm going to go up to 30 for Sarah. So here's Sarah's. Malia got 50, so she's going all the way up there. Good job, Malia. Wow, 50 push-ups. Ouch. Eric got 20. Still very good. And Abdul got 40. So 40, nice job, Abdul. All right, so 40 goes right to that line. I'm going to just double check that because it's far away. I want to make sure that I got the right line. Yes, I did. Okay, perfect. Again, I would shade the whole thing in. I'm not taking that time because I don't want this video to take forever, and who really wants to watch me shade in a bunch of rectangles? So I'm just going to do this so you can see it better. So remember, for a scaled bar graph, and actually when I'm doing them, you might want to check them off as you go to make sure you got the right, all of the people. For a scaled bar graph, you're changing the scale from being just 1 per line to 5s or 2s or 10s, something you're counting a bigger space here so that you can fit a higher number onto a smaller space. Okay? So there's your scaled bar graph for number of push-ups. Looking at this, I can really quickly see that Malia got the highest number. I can see that Eric got the lowest number. So bar graphs are really good for visualizing. And hey, that's one of our text features we learned about the other day too. All right, so there's your scaled bar graph, and I hope that helped.